don't even remember.
Yes, I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats, but most of
Mm-hmm.
them go in the fashion realm.
Okay. So, just tell the audience a little bit about what inspired you to get into fashion. Was it something that inspired you as a kid? Have you always been a fashion girl, or was this a, someone that you saw like Diana Ross, and you're like, I want to be like that, or was it even your mother that inspired you?
I think my my fashion inspiration really came from women, like you said, women in my family, like my
Mm-hmm.
mother, my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was a young girl trying to mimic what my mom wore.
Mm-hmm.
So you could imagine a young girl trying to look like her mother.
Uh-huh.
It was quite comical. But I think that's kind of where I got my fashion genes from. It came from down the line. My brother might kill me for saying this,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember as a young girl trying to redesign clothes that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do is I would use my brother as my fashion model.
He was not gonna like that.
He might not like
It's
it,
all right.
but it's okay because he was like younger.
It's okay.
So, he can't
He can hold it against you.
he can't hold it against
It'll
me. I
be
was a
fine.
big sister. I was older.
The secret's safe here. We're fine. But yeah, so I just wanted to ask you like what inspired you also to get into motivational speaking? What at what point did you decide that you wanted to inspire other people to follow their dreams?
I think I embarked on entrepreneurship
Mhm.
almost 10 years ago,
Mhm.
and during that time, a lot of my friends within this time span has come to me and asked me for questions on
Mhm.
how to begin or how do I do this or how do I do that, and I find myself helping a lot of my friends a lot with many aspects of starting a business and entrepreneurship, including marketing, um, social media, and just like the ins and outs of things. So I figured, why limit that to my social circle when I can help a wider variety of women be girl bosses like myself?
Mhm. So, girl bosses, explain exactly what is girl boss.
Well, there was recently a book
Mhm.
published by this Sophia Amoruso. I
Mhm.
forgive me if I am pronouncing her name incorrectly, but she had a book called Girl Boss.
Right.
And what I kind of took from that, for me, a girl boss can be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's in business
Mhm.
or someone who's an entrepreneur. It can be the woman, the CEO, the administrative assistant,
Mhm.
the stay-at-home mom, whoever. I feel like a girl boss commands the best of whatever she does. So
Mhm.
whatever that realm is that she is in, a girl boss kind of commands that. So
Mhm.
I've kind of taken that definition and really uh, changed up the meaning a bit so that it meant a little bit more to me.
Yeah, and not only that, I think um, the term girl boss, to me, when I hear it, I think of strong women,
Yes,
but still
all
kind of,
about
but
women
still
empowerment.
feminine, but still, strong. Especially in this day and age when you have so many. Oh yeah, this is something I want to ask you too. Especially in this day and age with like you have a certain portrayal, young girls looking up to a certain type of woman um, that actually I don't know how to say this without sounding. But we have a lot of images out there. A lot of plastic surgeries to look a certain way or um, to emulate a certain celebrity. And so I think to me, to be a girl boss is someone that is able to stand out from the pack. But my question is, what do you think about the images that are getting portrayed right now to the young girls to make them? What do you think about the body image issues with young girls today, as far as them want the surgeries, or you just like it's their choice?
Well, what I say to that is, um, there are a lot of images out there, but regardless of those images, I mean, it's really what you have at home. If you have a strong sense of self, then regardless of looking at those images, you're going to know who you are and know that that either is for you or isn't for you. Um, so I find that as long as you have a positive female role model, I think you can kind of overcome any negative or any negative body image issues that you may have or putting counter, I should say.
So I know you're in the fashion industry. You do a lot of New York Fashion Week. I know it's Men's New York Fashion Week this week.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of body image issues in the fashion industry. But I do like the fact that they're now starting to get like a little bit more of the plus size models, or the more curvy models on the runway now, which is kind of it's refreshing to see,
Little
depending
by
on
little, little
yeah.
by little. A lot of times at Fashion Week, I'm astonished at some of the models, but for the most part, designers are trying to get more of a realistic uh, body type. Most designers are going towards that realm. I know the CFDA um, is definitely spearheading that campaign, kind of to have more of a positive body image going down the runway rather than, very frail models. So I think that it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's a little slow, but, hopefully it'll catch
It'll
up.
catch on. I think it'll catch on. So now, how long have you been in the industry in general? Like, did you go to fashion school? Did you like what's your journey? How long have you been on this journey? For 5 years, 10 years? I don't know.
This will be, I believe, my 11th
Okay.
New York Fashion Week season. There are primarily two seasons a year, September and February. Um, and so, how? Let me see. Let me think back. How did I get into the fashion industry? I guess because, like I said, my passion um, for fashion started at a young age, and I wanted to. I'm a writer. I love writing, and so I started a publication um, way back a couple of years ago, and I signed up and registered as press for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week New York, which is no longer called Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. As of, I believe, last season was the first season where it's just New York Fashion Week. The CFDA has taken over for that. But yeah, and it just kind of started from there. I remember my first invitation to Fashion Week was from Perry Ellis, and I could remember being ecstatic, like, oh my
That has
God,
to be excited.
they said yes to me, so that was really great. And then it just kind of spearheaded from there. From that one, uh, I guess, invitation, I have started entry done many runway shows now. Now they all kind of go into a blur sometimes. Um, and designer interviews and things like that, and posted events. And so I guess my fashion journey is very kind of straightforward. I knew what I wanted, and I went after it. And that's kind of what I would say to anyone. If you know what you want, go after it. You'll find a way.
That's what boss love too. So I also want to know, like, since you are a designer, what is your creative process? Like, what inspires you? Like, say you want to design some pants or see a nice top. Like, what inspires you? Is it like, sometimes people can take the image of a tree, how a tree is set, and they'll say, wow, that might be a nice design for, a heel of a shoe, or, you know what I mean? Like, what's your creative process? Like, what takes you to the place where you want to create a certain type of piece, and what is your favorite type of piece to create?
I would say currently right now, the only thing that I design in terms of apparel is are things for myself. So this skirt, for instance, is something that I said I love this fabric. I love pencil skirts. I love the shape. It's so feminine, and I love the shape of a pencil skirt. It's just I don't know something about
Classy.
it. It's classic.
Feminine.
Exactly, classic feminine. Um, but in general, I have recently had started a line of what I like to call mom bags.
Okay.
And they were inspired by my journey. I'm a new mom.
Right.
I have a little baby
I
at
was
home.
gonna ask you about that, but you go ahead. Go ahead.
And he inspired me. I would say my son inspired me because I was looking for cute bags that could hold everything that you need to hold when you're carting around a little human being. And I couldn't find anything that fit my aesthetic.
Right.
Um, you know, so I decided, well, why don't I just make it? And I did a lot of, research, and I found other women like myself who are
Mm-hmm.
young women who are fashionable, who want to have something fashionable but also functional
Mm-hmm.
for their daily lives.
Right.
And so that is how my mom bag, handbag, everything bag line, Dina and May, was created.
Created.
Yeah.
Wow. So now let me ask you this. So where can people when will the line be available? And is it going to be in is it going to be in retail stores or just online, or how will people be able to get these bags? Um,
Well, we are looking forward
mm-hmm.
to launching in fall 2016. So this fall coming up, we should, fingers crossed, be in retailers as well as online, and you'd be able to visit that at StinaandMae.com. That's STINA May MAE.com.
Okay. So now this comes to my next question. So that one relationship obviously changed your style. So I always I want to know, because this is something that's happened to me recently, and so I'm very interested. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone has tried to change your personal style, or vice versa?
No,
Mhm.
in the sense of trying to change my personal style. I think if you're in a right relationship, you're naturally going to rub off on each
Uh
other
huh.
anyway.
Uh
So your fashion sense and will somehow rub off on each other. You like to pick out things for your guy and
Mhm.
things for him to wear, and then my husband tells me, honey, no, and
Yeah, that's what
so
you need.
exactly, it's
Mhm.
like having your in-house fashion critic. So
Mhm.
not necessarily in a negative way,
Mhm.
but we definitely can tell each other very candidly what
Mhm.
we think of what one is wearing.
Doing a men's line.
Menswear isn't something that is incredibly attractive to me.
Okay.
I love, I love designing accessories. I
Mhm.
think accessories is kind of where my heart is, because no matter what, you can change your look with an accessory, and I love that. An
Right.
accessory can change everything. You can have the same outfit on,
But accessories,
but accessories
I'm all
always
about it.
changing.
I'm
Yes.
all about the accessories. So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, but I mean, you're more of a woman's lifestyle, um, editor, expert. But you never know. I just had to put the question out there because you never know. Life
Anything could
evolves and
happen.
changes, and
Yes.
next thing you know, you'll be like, men's. You know what I mean? You never know. You know. But so I also want to know, like, what are your plans as far as like, are you going to do more motivational speaking? I love motivational speakers, so I'm all about it. So do you plan on at some point doing a motivational like tours or take it across the country, or have you ever thought about doing something like that?
I am currently in the works of creating my schedule for the summer of
Mhm.
this year, 2016. And hopefully, I will be speaking at a national conference
Mhm.
in, I believe it's August.
Mhm.
And so, fingers crossed on that. And then there's some other things in the works
Mhm.
to do some more public speaking. Really, my goal is to motivate young women and let
Mhm.
them know, you know, you can have it all.
Mhm.
You can have, the successful career, the career that you want, or whatever that journey may entail.
Mhm.
You can have you know, everything that you want,
You have to dream.
and you can do that. I remember one of my things that I was very, very scared about at first with having a child was, oh my gosh, am I going to lose myself? Am I not going to be able
Okay.
to do the things that I want to do? And in fact, I feel like not only am I going to be able to do those things, I am going to have a lot more fun,
Mhm.
because I know that I'm doing it and that my son is watching, and
Mhm.
that I can be a positive role model for
Right.
him. And so rather than looking at it as, I don't want to say a hindrance
Right.
to my journey,
Mhm.
but rather than look at it as something that was going to slow my journey down, I think he's actually propelled my journey forward. And I think a lot of young women right now have this idea, just from conversations
Mhm.
about work-life balance. I hate that
Mhm.
phrase, work-life balance. There's no balance. you're going to have to pick and choose something. So you're not going to
along
be
the
great
way.
at everything
Right.
every day, but as long as you do your best at whatever you're doing, then that's fine.
Right.
And I think, so a lot of women either put off children or they put off their career because they've had children.
Right.
And I want to inspire them and let them know that you can have it all. You
Yeah,
can have
and
it all.
I think that's the big thing now too. A lot of women, I think, what's going on nowadays, well, in my opinion, and I'm nobody, whatever, but I think nowadays, just observing what's going on, I think the women are becoming so super strong, almost to the point of being hyper masculine. That they, like, people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to have kids because I have stuff to do. I got to go. I got stuff to do. This kid's gonna slow me down. I can't have children. I have to be focused, focused, focused." So I think I can understand those women, but I think it's also good for women like you to also say, you know what, you can't have kids. You can still, have your career. You can still, that, like, you don't. It doesn't have to be so, like, you don't have to be so laser focused where you're missing out on other aspects, because I think a lot of people look back when they get older and they live with regrets, and they're like, wow, I didn't take the time.
Yeah, I agree.
And then it's kind of like, and then the lights go out for them, So I'm proud that you found that balance, So yeah, it's a fun. I don't have any, but I'm assuming, then I did,
I like to call him my co-creative director.
Yeah.
So my co-creative director and I, we have conversations every day about business. One of us may or may not be able to understand the other, but we have very serious conversations, and I find him to be a very good asset to the company.
Now, you're good at that. That's good. That was good. But so I was wondering now, since we're on this subject, have you ever thought about maybe doing a maternity line?
I thought, I was fortunately blessed with being pregnant during the summertime, and some women who have been pregnant during the summertime will not say that's a blessing, and I can agree on that, but that's another story. You're just hot. But one of the blessings about being pregnant during the summertime is maxi dresses were my best friend.
And they're flowy.
They're flowy and they stretch.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't really have to purchase many maternity wear items. I was very, very lucky. I had a few tank tops here and maybe a few pants there. But it was something that did interest me, maybe doing a future collaboration, working on something like that with a major retailer right now, doing a collaboration with maternity wear. But hopefully we'll see where that goes.
Or even writing a book about, have you ever thought about writing a book, like, maybe along the lines of, like, your fashion journey through pregnancy? Because you are a writer. So have you ever thought about, like, doing a book, like, about your fashion journey into motherhood, or giving fashion tips to women who are pregnant, and the different stages of pregnancy, like what you should wear, what type of shoes, what you do. Even though every woman's different, their body's different. Some people, their body changes, and other people, they don't gain any weight. They're perfect. But see,
I didn't gain any weight.
So you're perfect. No, but you know what I mean, like different stages, what to expect. Maybe for someone, like, have different sections. Maybe if a woman is carrying a little big, like what she should wear, what type of shoes you should be comfortable with. Have you thought of maybe doing a book like that, or a concept?
I did, yes. And there's a little bit of that on mishtheeditor.com, as well as on the Stina and May blog, where we have fashion tips and advice. And also, more or less, there's a section on mishtheeditor.com that is called the Mom Chronicle.
Okay.
And that kind of chronicles my journey, my laughs, my struggles, my ups, my downs of being a working stay-at-home mom.
Right.
That's what I call myself. I'm a working stay-at-home mom. I do both. So, yeah, that there kind of chronicles a little bit of that journey. And there are some sprinkles of fashion tips in there, here and there. Like you mentioned, I was one of those women where I was very, I guess, fortunate that I didn't gain much Actually, I didn't gain any weight.
Oh.
While pregnant, and still had a very healthy, uh, young man baby. A young man baby. He's not a young man yet. He's my little baby, my
Well,
munchkin.
I'll just say that I'm happy for you. So
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you have little guy that inspires some things. But I want to know about your handbags. How many bags are available? Um, like what do you have? Duffel bags? Do you have like what do your bags entail for?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
So the student made bags,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
first line will entail three different bags.
Mhm.
So you'll have more like of a tote,
Okay.
a backpack.
So what do you need?
Yes.
Mhm.
Backpack is always great for hands free, and all the
Mhm.
bags will be able to switch into becoming a backpack as well. And then more kind of for the mom on the go who
Mhm.
maybe has an older child but still needs to carry little bits of things, which we have like the diaper clutch slash purse. It's an oversized clutch, and it's great. It can fit not only diapers, your changing pad, and all the necessary things that you need to take with you, but it can also fit your laptop. So it can kind of switch out, and that's really what the brand is about.
Diversity.
Being able to switch out and say, okay, yes, I need a diaper bag today, but tomorrow I have a meeting. I might need to go and, you know, go to a meeting.
Mhm.
So I'm going to, put my laptop in here, my portfolio in here, and off I go.
Off you go.
And be able to switch seamlessly through those, those hats. Women wear many hats, and so our bags want to be able to fit every occasion.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question about who. This is totally off the baby subject. I want to know who is your personal favorite designer besides yourself.
Oh, okay. So I think for the first time in my fashion career, there's only been one designer that's drawn me to tears, and that's a young designer named Zhang Toy.
Mhm.
And I remember his show like it was yesterday, and I think it was a few years ago, many seasons back.
Mhm.
And the music, the theater, the way the models walked down the runway, the way the clothes draped them, it was amazing.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing at the end of the show, the entire audience got up and gave him a standing ovation, which generally never happens,
Mhm.
and literally clapped for about a minute.
Mhm.
And he came out, and he's a very humble designer. He's a very great designer. But Zing Toy is one of my favorites. Um, and then Tracy Reed.
Oh, she's Reese. Okay.
I love her fun, youthful aesthetic. That's what I love about Tracy Reed. It's very youthful. It's very fun. It's very chic. It's very urban.
Mhm.
It's really young and hip. So I really love her collections as well.
So I want to know. I always do this to people because this is just what I do. I'm a huge dreamer. But what do you dream about for your future in the next? I don't know, maybe 10 years. Like, what do you dream about? Like what other goals are you trying to reach for other than what you have now? Like, what other dreams do you see for yourself in the future?
I see myself creating or having a creative empire. So, working within the fashion realm, continuing the line of CNN May,
Mm-hmm.
continuing doing things with my own personal brand, which is Mish the Editor,
Mm-hmm.
and going out and inspiring young women to, go after their dreams and go after their goals. And I think I would say I would love to write a book. That's one of the things I would love to do. So being able to do that would be really great, and just having something that my son can look and say, my mommy did that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my biggest goal, is to just say, to have my son, you know, be able to look at what I've done, my portfolio, my career work, and say, wow, mommy, that's awesome. I think if I can achieve that, then that's all I need.
You do it. I'm a big believer in it. That's always the people. I always tell them, what do you dream about? And it always disturbs me when people don't have an answer to that question. So I'm like, everybody, you have to have a dream. Like, there has to be, you have to have some kind of you know, bigger um, vision for your life than just what is, you know, um, like there. When people go to work every day and they're like, oh, my job, and I hate it, and they hate it, and it's like kind of like it's kind of like disturbing because you're kind of watching people um, spirits be broken, and they don't even realize it. You know what I mean? They're just kind of going through the monotony of life. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. And what I love about any artist, whether it's a fashion designer, because they're artists, fashion designers, people that um, have a vision for their life, and they're designing things for the people that are monotonous. Like, you have to love that. Like, you have to love the artists, the designers, the authors, the writers, because some people, like we were talking earlier, and you said, oh, people think it's superficial, fashion, people that don't understand it think that it's, but for people, in your industry, to them they're creating art. To
art.
them it's art. Like this is what they live for. This is what probably they will die for. They just love it. They have to get it out. So it's kind of like you kind of have to respect um, the craft of people because it is a process, um, and we are fellow artists. so so I get you, even though it might not be the same. Your fashion. I'm an author, but I respect the fact that you a woman and you are making a difference.
I think the difference is your art is on a piece of paper, whereas if you're a fashion designer, their art, their canvas is the human body.
That's right.
So, when you see something walk down the runway, it's not just an article of clothing. It's a physical representation of what they saw that inspired them. So it's their inspiration walking, literally. And yes, there's a degree of superficiality with the fashion industry. I don't know. I may have made up a word, but
that's okay.
So there's a bit of superficiality, I guess, with the fashion industry, but also within that there are so many different layers to fashion. There's the inspirational aspect of this designer is showing you they're literally putting their mind out for the world to see and critique. And I think that takes a special kind of person to be able to do that. Because being the editor, I'm usually the one that is doing the critiquing. So I find it incredibly brave of designers to be able to continue to put out collections every season and put them down the runway. And I go to two seasons. There's the spring, summer, and then fall, winter. But then there's the cruise collection or the words are escaping me, but more the holiday collection.
Right.
So they're separate. There are 4 actual collections that designers have to put out every year, and that's a lot of creativity.
That's a lot.
And for them to be able to do that and know that it's going to be critiqued by people like myself, I think is amazing. It takes an enormous amount of courage.
You gotta be fearless.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I'm just gonna ask you, what's the favorite body part on a woman? What's your favorite body part on a woman? What's your favorite body part?
Of myself?
Yeah.
I guess my favorite body part I love my hair.
Okay.
My fro, I feel like my fro has, a mind of its own sometimes. It does what it wants, and I love that.
Okay. Favorite body part on a man?
Shoulders.
Okay. Good answer. Yeah, so I want to thank you for coming here and talking about all the things that make you who you are, make you fabulous, and yeah, I had fun. I had really fun time talking to you and trying to get into your head. I wish I would have had some more like quirky questions, but I think we did okay.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I found it to be fun as well.
Yeah, well, all the best to you.